Hey, it's the Fort Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
And today we're going to talk about, I can only imagine how this thing's going to blow up. Marrying a virgin.
Or trying to be, having the goal of being in a serious relationship with a virgin, I would say.
The good, the bad, and the ugly again.
Yeah.
I mean, there's good and there's unseen bad.
Yeah.
Which most people don't see the possibilities. And there's some ugly truths there too, that are just a fact. We see a lot of this because, younger guys, and unfortunately some of these older guys, they're like, I'm going to marry a virgin, they're like 40.
Yeah. I'm on a walker,
whatever
but I'm
reason,
going to marry a virgin.
They're determined to marry a virgin.
Yeah.
And there are reasons, because just like you look at divorce statistics or satisfaction in marriage.
Yes.
Even one prior partner, there's a huge drop off almost immediately, and the divorce rate goes way up.
Yeah.
From 0 partners previous to marriage to 1 partner prior to marriage. And marriage satisfaction for never having sex is high.
Yeah.
Compared to having had one sexual partner before marriage. And then it goes up from,
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, there are statistical advantages. Mm-hmm. But I think what a lot of these charts and the interviews and the statistics don't reflect is the age and the youth of these marriages when they are a virgin.
Right.
Because most girls are a virgin up to about, 15, 16 right now? 15 is the average age
I
of
would
a girl.
say.
And so, let's say she makes it to 18 and loses. And that's normal. Mm-hmm. That's probably pretty normal for...
Make it all the way through high school,
yeah,
but then maybe in college
maybe
go on and...
first or second year. Because that's why when you go to a lot of these church colleges,
yes,
they have married dorms. There's a lot more married people at Oral Roberts University than there are at UTA or TCU.
TCU's Christian college.
Yeah, but it's not a traditional hardcore. Wouldn't you say?
It's
Baylor
a Christian
might.
college.
Yeah, Baylor might.
Yeah.
But if they don't require you to be in church every day, or seminary. Seminary will tend to have a lot of.
Yeah, but then you're
doors.
going to.
Masters. Yeah.
You're going into the ministry.
Yeah.
If you're in seminary. So
that's normal. They're younger. 18. Yeah. But when you start talking about meeting a girl who's 21, 25.
Yeah.
And she's a virgin.
Yeah.
What are you really looking at then, Bunny? I mean, what are what happens there?
I think that anything, and we were talking, I think that truly anything over the age of, say, 22 is kind of asking for a couple of hiccups. Number one, there may be a couple of different reasons why she's still a virgin. But the bottom line is guys want to be with a virgin, and yet immediately she turns into this sex kitten as soon as he nails her down. And it just doesn't happen. There's been a modesty up to this point. There's been all kinds of head trash, or lessons, I should say, about why to remain a virgin. There's been a modesty, is the best way to put it, up to this point. So to imagine that now, in your care, she's going to walk around naked, she's going to fuck you like a porn star, she's going to let you have sex with her with the lights on or with the covers off, that she's going to be comfortable showering in front of you or with you, all kinds of things that she's never been comfortable with before, and she's probably been taught is dirty, is wrong, is sinful, all kinds of things. So even in I would say Christian communities where this is still certainly a goal to be a virginal bride, I think that there's also a lot of kind of lessons there that set them up for some failure. Because you're supposed to go from this wonderful dating relationship where you're modest and you're covered up and you got chaperones or whatnot, to the wedding night and magically being completely comfortable with this other person. Now, all that being said, I will say that, like the statistics that you were talking about with the marriage satisfaction and things of that nature, I think that if both the man and the woman are virgins on the wedding night, let's say, that's the best case scenario. But if you're 30 years old as a male, if you're 35, if you're fucking 40 and you're thinking that finding this unicorn virgin is even a good idea, I think you're sadly mistaken. That's the Bunny report on that.
And it's interesting because this kind of came up. I've known, the virgin idea, especially for players, is a bad idea generally.
It's kind of like fucking with widows,
Yeah.
I think. It's just kind of like bad karma.
And it's like, it's funny because you get players that nail everything that's not nailed to the ground.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, they're like, if they're younger guys, they'll be like, yeah, I really want to marry a virgin. It's not congruent with anything else. But talking about what, like Bunny was talking about, the moving from sex being this horrible, dirty thing.
Taboo.
In the Christian, I stumbled one day into the Christian wives, young Christian wives,
Yeah.
Twitter. Just like there's real estate Twitter and
Yeah.
military Twitter. And there's a young Christian wives Twitter, and I don't know how I ended up there. But this is a major issue.
It is.
It is a major issue in that world that they go from spending 16 to 18 years, maybe 20,
Yeah.
being told, abstain, it's dirty, it's wrong.
It's just for procreation.
It's a sin.
Uh-huh.
No one enjoys it. And, men only want one thing. And then all of a sudden, after this big ceremony,
Yeah.
she's supposed to just turn it on.
Yeah.
And they say there's girls that are in counseling and therapy for years into their first marriage.
Yes.
Or,
into their marriage. Yeah.
Because there's so much head trash, on so many levels. You can't condition somebody for their entire lifetime that something isn't okay. And then one day you go, well, it's okay now.
Yeah, now go.
Yeah, they can't. And the guys are frustrated.
Yes.
And here, balance that with the guys, they don't know any more than the girl does.
Perfect.
They're
learning together. They're exploring together.
But he can't help her through
Right.
that. He's
Right.
as confused as she is.
But at least in that case, they can learn together and kind
Yeah.
of experience things the first time together. I think there's a lot to be said for that. Whenever
There'd be
I
a plus
was,
and a minus.
so
Yeah.
I went to a Christian university.
Yeah.
I know it's shocking. Freshman year,
It's no longer in business.
it went belly up when they
Yeah,
let me
after
through.
that.
But our next door neighbor in the freshman dorm, she was engaged. She was definitely there for the MRS degree. She was engaged to her high school sweetheart. This was I'm pretty sure the family somehow put this together. He was 2 years older, I believe.
Perfect.
All the stuff, but they were both still virgins. And it was kind of a running little joke amongst us, not making fun of her, but we would tease that, they'd take a flashlight to bed the first night and
That's
things
funny.
like that. And everything was going to be, she was very sweet and very covered up and
Yeah.
very modest and just a doll. But they were going to be exploring this thing together. It goes a long way, because then there's not one person who feels like they don't know anything and everything's being forced upon them, and one
That's
who's
frustrated.
Yeah. And just wants it to, he wants to experience this thing that he's had before and he likes, and let's do it all the time because
Right.
now we're married. It's rough.
It's interesting. But it is truly, so you may want to balance these things out.
Yeah.
Especially as you get older, and usually I think it's less a reaction of like, I want a girl who's a virgin, as opposed to they don't want a girl that has been ran through.
Yeah.
And has kind of like lost the light.
Yes.
You know, and it's just kind of like run down.
Yeah.
You know,
Run through is a good way to put it.
And that happens to girls at different levels.
Yeah.
Some girls can sleep with 2 or 3 guys, and then they start feeling like bad.
A lot of it is dependent on
it's completely
at what level
on the girl.
On the girl, she kind of starts to feel like a slut.
A smaller percentage of girls are more resilient.
Yeah.
And you'll never know how many guys they've been with.
That's true.
That's their job.
That's true.
It's hardwired for them to lie to you, especially the more they value you.
But I will say that men, if we're talking to you and you're like, I still want a fucking virgin, I get it. But you better be, I would say, 27 or below.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I think it's possible then. But if you're hitting 30, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, but you have to make your own decision. But we want to give you guys, like we always say, you have to make the decision that you feel is best for you. Our job is to give you all the information we can so you can make the best decision for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, not to extend this past, its talking point, but there are the few exceptions where the girls are genuinely late bloomers. And they just weren't, they were awkward, they were I won't say unattractive, but they were uncomfortable in their skin because of this awkwardness that they had through high school and maybe college. And then they kind of figured stuff out. Maybe they started exercising, they started learning how to do hair, makeup, things like that, and dress themselves. And then they kind of got a new lease on life. So there are the rare exceptions of these kind of late bloomer girls that are ready to give it a spin.
Yeah.
I will say there are a couple of those.
There are anomalies.
Yeah.
And truly the late bloomers, and it can be later. It can be like 27, 28 sometimes.
Yeah.
A girl just kind of has to grow into it.
Yeah.
And they if they don't come from a background where girls teach them how to like do their makeup or dress, or take care of themselves, a lot of it they have to learn over time.
Yeah.
And
maybe those girls have older parents, something like that. I mean, there's probably something going on.
Older parents and no siblings.
Yeah, I think that's probably safe. But there are the late bloomer scenarios that you could probably still find a virgin a little bit older. But I would say for the most part, it's not all that's cracked up to be if you're not also a virgin.
Yeah.
That's our take on it. I feel like this is like a loaded bomb about to go off.
We'll throw it out there and see what happens. Hope you guys, be sure to let us know what you think in the comments. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, they will.
They will. Have a great day.